certain men have a better overall experience with women, right? And these guys, the generic names, we all know the generic name of alpha male or high value, 20%, 10, all of these euphemisms, all of these names. And, and that's perfectly fine because, you you kind of need a word to describe something, right? But in general, I'm just speaking in general, certain men that overall do well with women. And the reason why I just emphasize the word overall is because it's not going to be 100%. There's no way in hell that any man, any human being on earth is going to have 100, we're just talking about men, that is going to have 100% of women's attraction or reverence, whatever you want to call it, right? So get that dumb shit out of your head, because there's, plenty of these black pill channels that are made by, and I'm not trying to talk down on these guys, but they have little to no experience with women. And they're talking about, oh yeah, there's certain type of guys. That's fucking foolish. Okay. It's common sense. Right. I don't care how tall, I don't care how Aryan or blonde haired or athletic or Tyrone you are. You're not going to get 100% of women's, not every single woman on earth is going to be attracted to you or treat you well. Okay. So now that we got that disclaimer out the way. Okay. But there are a few men out there that do get good treatment from the women that are predisposed to be attracted to them, right? From women that are attracted to them. And they get a little more attention and they get a little more attraction than the average guy. And I'm gonna get into it. First of all, this is a Terry Talks Midnight podcast. Sit down, relax, and enjoy. Now, these guys, it's it's a mix of let's not fake the funk of physicality and personality, right? Yes, I did throw in physicality in there. I'm sorry, some other schools of thought might disagree, but it is what it is. You could believe it or not. Physicality does come into play because when a woman is physically attracted to you, it makes the interaction that much better, right? And as I stated earlier, these guys have a little above average in physicality, right? A little above an average in physicality, and they get a lot of attention from women. And we probably seen this in school. That was the first time I think almost everyone has seen this dynamic where there were a handful of guys, usually the jocks, okay, that got attention from women. And put it on top of that, these guys usually if they get a lot of attention, they know that they got it going on. So, they're gonna have a certain swag to them, okay? And these men's experience, their treatment is completely different. They see things that the average guy doesn't really see. Okay. The first one is what I had alluded to earlier, woman's attention. Most of the time, a man has to go out of his way. And, he's the one showing a large amount of interest. He's the one chasing, in other words. Okay, he's the one initiating all of the contact. He's the one initiating all of the flirting. He's just the one that's initiating everything. But in these guys' cases, a lot of the times, a woman will seduce him, or she is the one that will engage uh, in contact, whether it be through text message, calling, things of that nature. She's the one, because most guys, let's just be honest, most men have to initiate all the contact all the time. They're the ones that have to initiate all of the calling and texting and all of that good stuff, right? But these guys, they, a woman will blow their phone up. A woman will be wanting to keep in contact with them, right? And the treatment is just generally better. It's generally better. It's not because, let's just be honest, the average man is, and this is unfortunate, this is fucked up, but it's real. He's going to get the kind of lukewarm, I'm not, you got to prove yourself to me, all that bullshit treatment from women. Like, the woman always has this I can take it or leave it type of vibe. Like she has this kind of cold, like I don't care type of vibe. But this type of guy, the alpha male, high value, select, whatever you want to call him, right? Select, shout out Ron Wills. This guy, his treatment, like women are genuinely want to be with him. They actually put in effort. They give a damn if the guy approves of them or not. Like this is true, fellas. Like this is a real thing. It's a real dynamic. And a guy that is average to below average, the same girl, right? He'll be talking to, let's say, Susie, and Susie, to the average Joe Schmo, she's kind of, as I mentioned earlier, she's kind of colder. She doesn't really care one way or the other if he calls. He's finding himself jumping through hoops. The same chick, the same, Susie. Now, let's make a little scenario. Now, Joe Schmo, he's looking at Susie interact with Johnny Cool, right? Johnny Badass, whatever you little euphemism you want to call him, Johnny Cool, right? She's all on him. She's smiling hard. She's laughing at his corny ass jokes. He's damn near making fun of her at certain moments, and she's still laughing and smiling, right? He's getting away with a lot more shit. Okay. This is another thing about these type of men. They can get away with a lot more shit than a guy that's, average to below average. And a woman will, because she's so highly attracted to him, she's so enamored by him, so to speak, she's gonna let it fly. She's gonna be like, fuck it. I'm not gonna see this type of guy in in a long time. So she lets things slide, as opposed if a below average type of guy did that same thing, she'd be like, no. Right? She'd be like, nope. When this type of guy, when he usually gets intimacy very quickly. He usually gets it sometimes on the first night, right? Sometimes within a few hours of this young lady, of meeting this young lady. If not on the first night, then, in the first week or what have you, very quickly. Because she's that attracted to him, as opposed to the same chick, right? The same girl, she's interacting with another type of guy that is, less average, below average. She's going to make him wait and tell him, all of these things. And not to say that the chicks are, with the guy that's super attractive, that they're going to sleep with him on a first night every single time. I want these alpha males, quote unquote, to fucking, stop with the bullshit. It's not always going to happen on the first fucking night. Okay. Even though it is extremely common for these type of guys, it's very easy. As a matter of fact, it's easier to do that than the average guy. It doesn't happen 100%. Nothing happens 100% of the time. Okay. But for the most part, these guys, the women give up intimacy very quickly to these type of guys, as opposed to the below average guy. She's going to tell him, she's going to make him wait like months probably. And he might actually end up in the friend zone while she's dealing with this other guy. Okay, in case the guy that she's very attracted to, in case he dumps her or leaves her, because she knows deep down inside, like, this guy has a lot of options, right? But this the other guy, the Joe Schmo, she's gonna leave him hanging. She's gonna keep him around as like a backup. But to the guy she's super attracted to, the guy that the very sex, has high sex appeal to a large amount of women, or larger than average, right? She's gonna be extremely attracted to him. She's not gonna want to wait her damn self. As a matter of fact, and fellas, like I said, believe it or not, a woman will want it more than him. Okay, a woman will want to be intimate more than he does. Because women are extremely, just like men, they're very sexual creatures. And when they see something that they like, they want it. And she's going to want it more than he does. At certain points, he's going to be like, dang, he's not going to really think of it as annoying. But to some extent, he's like, damn, this is getting, it's getting a little excessive at some points. Because the experience that he's getting is it's a whole different aspect. It's a totally different dynamic. And these guys see a side of woman that a lot of guys have, let's be quite frank, have never seen before, right? That aggressive, sort of very forward aspect of females. And these guys generally, in general, if you could put like a blanket statement, they generally get treated better, right? They generally get treated better. Everything is kind of free flowing. Now, I'm not saying it's perfect, guys, okay? Because you're still dealing with a human. You're dealing with a female at that. Okay, and their emotions are everywhere. I don't care how fine she thinks you is, right? But for the most part, everything is free flowing. If the guy says, hey, look, let's do this, she's going to be on board with it. She's not going to flake, shit like that. It's going to be real effortless. And these guys, they, a lot of times, they build themselves, because like I said, there is a physical aspect to it. Let's just keep it real. They build themselves. They build their physique. They build their sex appeal. They build the way that they move. They build the way that they interact with a young lady, right? They build the way they talk, to where, they know how to seduce a woman, or they have good enough social skills to where they get the woman nice and comfortable and, ready for intimacy, right? Because if she finds that guy physically attractive, okay, if she finds him physically attractive, he only needs to have basic social skills. He doesn't have to go jump through hoops. As I mentioned earlier in the video, how the Joe Schmo has to kind of be a verbal, he has to be verbally craftful, he has to be crafty with his words and say all of these funny pickup lines and, all that shit. But the guys that have different experiences with women, that have a better experience, their social skills don't have to be that strong. They just have to have basic social skills, okay? Because their sex appeal is extremely high, right? And this is just a dynamic I'm pretty sure everyone has seen before, right? So anyway, I hope you guys like this podcast. Peace.